Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me. This is Jana with Purple Girl Crafts. Today we're going to be making this treat box. And this one you can see on the ribbon or the string I have a tie. I have hearts at the bottom so that it won't pull through. So when you open this up, you could open it and then you won't lose your little tie. We tie that back up. This requires no die cuts. This is a milk carton treat box. So this is for, a nice quick Valentine's Day treat if you need something for somebody. So let's just go ahead and get started. So our first piece is going to be cut at 11.5 by 7.5. On the 11.5 inch side, we are going to score this. And we are going to score this at 2 3/4, 5.5, 8 1/4, and 11. So you should have your 4 score lines. Then I'm going to turn it to the 7.5 inch side. And we're going to score this at 1/2, 2 3/4, and 4 3/4. So now I put the 1/2 inch at the end on the right-hand side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put just a little dot just so I can see where they cross on this one line on each of the score marks. So you should have marks just like that. Then at the very top, we're going to do a 1 3/8 inch mark, which is halfway. We're going to do it on the second section of the score, starting from the left, and the last one, but not that little 1/2 inch piece. And again, just make just a line just so you know where that middle point is. Then I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to do it from the bottom because it's easier. And we're just going to score it up until that 1/2 inch line. So where we just made those 2 last marks. So we're just going to score it. Let me move this up just a little bit so you can see. So we're going to score it on this first one. And then on that other line we made. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to do some just light pencil marks again, because now what we're going to do is at that end of each point, we're going to score between the points of the other ones we made. So we're going to score diagonally now. So I'm lining this up so I'm at the dot that I made and the edge of the paper. So I'm just making sure my marks are lined up, and I'm putting a line at the edge of each side of the paper. And I'm going to do that on both sides on this one. So again, line up the end of that mark we made, and at the top and at the bottom. Then I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to do the other side. So again, you want to line up your lines. Let me move the trimmer. This one is just a little bit in the way. We're going to use that in a second. I'm just going to move it out of the way for right now. Right, so I'm going to line up. So my dot I made up to that line we scored, the last one, making sure my paper's over the edge. And then I'm just going to put a mark at the end of each. That's just so I know that when I put this back on the scoreboard, I can get an even line and score where I want to score. So this point is not necessary if you feel like you can score it without doing it. This was just the easiest way to do it to get it even. Right, so I've made all those marks on here. Again, they're very light, so they may be hard to see. I'm going to bring out back the scoreboard. Let me open it up. And I'm just going to line up that top line and the bottom line on each one. So I've got my top and bottom just like this. Then I'm going to take my scoring tool, and from that point down to that dot I made. So you're just going to score that section. Then I'm going to turn it. Again, I'm going to line up the lines. And then go from that point down to that next point. And then we're going to do it again. I'll show you if you can see it. That's where you're going to do. So that's the only places we're going to score. And then we'll change and we'll do this other last one. So I'm lining up my lines. And then from that point down to that dot I made. And then I'll turn it and do the same thing on this very last one. So that It's all the scoring we're going to do on the diagonal scoring. And then these pieces will be folded in then, but we'll do those in a minute. Right, so let me move the scoreboard out of the way. Let's move some of this mess. Right, so we're going to just start folding, but if you want, you can erase your pencil marks just so that you don't see them. This is the inside, so no one's going to see it anyway. So I'm going to line up that second score mark. And then I'm going to do the top one, which is the little 1/2 inch one. Just kind of working it before I crease it out. And then I'm going to fold this one the other way because I want it to have just a little bit of extra give. And then we'll take the last two, and again, we will just fold those. You're going to fold them all in the same direction. You just do mountain folds. All right, so you'll have those 3 folds. And then we're going to fold it again. So we're going to start with the little one. And then again, just go ahead and just fold all your marks and then crease them out. I'm just making sure they're lined up and then creased. And then we'll do the last one. So this is the piece that we have. Now we're going to do some cutting. So in here on this top, on the small side, the 1/2 inch, we don't need that bottom piece, and it'll be the piece that's the longest. So we don't need that piece on there. And then what you're going to do is we're going to cut each section up to that first score mark. And then you can cut 2 of the sections away, just do the 2 opposite ones. So just like that, you don't have to measure it, just cut them off just so it gets rid of some of the bulk on the bottom of the box. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to fold in these pieces. Now the easiest way is just to kind of just push it, look where your diagonal mark is, and just let the paper fold on itself. It is kind of hard to work with, but it will happen. So just like I'm doing here, don't fold the whole thing, just fold it as much as you can just on that little section. Just kind of just squeeze it, get it working itself, and then you can crease it out. As you can see, it's very hard to do. So just push it down and then just hold it and then just crease it out. And then we'll do the other side. I'm just going to lift it just along that crease line. And just kind of just crease it with my finger, and then I'll use my bone folder. And then we're also going to crease the other sides. So when this goes together, it should just squeeze in and look just like this. So we're going to glue it together. So we're going to take that long 1/2 inch side and we're going to put glue on it. Now I'm just going to lay it flat. So I'm just going to lay it right down on itself and then put the other piece on top. And then I'll open it up just enough to make sure that I've got my line straight and it's even with the edge. And then just push up that glue. And again, just making sure it's all lined up and it looks good. Then for the bottom, we're going to push these in. So it'll sit just like this. So this is the finished piece. So it's just a little small milk carton. So we do want to punch holes on the top. And so before I put the box together, we're going to do that. So I'm just going to grab a hole punch. And you can use any size hole punch you want. This one's very old and it doesn't punch very good. So I'm going to go in about 3/4 of an inch on each side. So I'm just going to make a mark at 3/4 inch from the end. And then what you want to do is don't do all layers because it might not punch through. So I'm just doing just the first top piece and the fold. And I'm going to punch that and then do the other side. And just making sure it's lined up. All right, so now I've got those two sides and I've got to do the other side. So I'm gonna hold it together. Make sure it's lined up. Make sure it's the way I want it to be closed. And then I'm just gonna put a pencil mark in those two holes I did. That way I can get them lined up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch. So as you can see now, I've opened it up just enough so I can see where that pencil mark is. And I'm going to punch my holes on either side. And we'll do this side. And now you've got all of your holes that go all the way through it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue the bottom. So I'm just going to use just regular glue on this. Let me move some of the stuff out of the way. So I'm going to put glue just on those two flaps. Those are the two shorter ones. And then I'm just going to close one of the flaps down. I'm going to leave the other flap out, and I'm going to take a bone folder, or you can use a ruler, and I'm just going to push those down. And then we'll take the last piece at the bottom and we will glue that on. I'm putting more glue on this side just to make sure that it's secure. And then again, just push my bone folder in there, or a ruler, anything that you can reach, just to help push the glue down. All right, then I have some yellow string, and we're going to use this. Now on here, I did it two different ways. I didn't like this way where I put it through on one end, and then it was too short to tie it. So I decided just to loop it through that hole, which is really cute because it will stay. But if you cut down the string so it's not too long, then it doesn't let the box open wide enough. So even though you see it here like this is not the end result. I actually took it apart and redid it with just two single strands and then did the bow. So when I cut these off, this is going to be too short, but this is another way to do it if you didn't care about the box opening very far. I'm making one of them just a little bit shorter, and I don't know why on here. So I'm just going to glue these two pieces down. I'm going to do top and bottom, so you'll need 4 little hearts or something. Thought it was cute just to add it to the bottom of the ribbon. And I'll put another one on top of there. And I'm just making sure that they're lined up. And then we'll do the next piece. Same thing. Just going to put some glue on it. All right, so now we're going to work on the other side of the box. So we're going to work on the bottom. So I have this Happy Valentine's Day, and I have my 2 little bees, and we're going to put these just so they're on the side. Now they can stick out because this is not going to go in an envelope, so you can make your dimensions further out of the box. So I'm just seeing where I want it, and then that's where I'm going to glue them down, making sure that he does not go over the bottom of the edge or bottom of the card, bottom of the box, so that he will sit. And then we'll put the banner on. And then I'll put the other bee, and I'm going to have him actually 1 foot underneath the banner, so almost like he's walking on it. So we'll glue this one right to here. And then I decided that it needs some additional hearts. So I have a bunch of hearts that I've stamped out of just different shapes and punches that I have. And we will add these to the box, just in random spots. But I also decided to do a strip of paper. I'm only going to do it on 3 sides of the box. I probably should have done it on all 4, but I didn't think about it. Just wanted just a little bit of extra color in here. So I'm just going to put a band, and this is about 1/2 inch wide. And I'm just gluing it down and then creasing it around the corner of the card or the box. I keep saying card. And then just keep doing it, and then I'll cut off that extra piece. Just wanted to have just a little bit of extra wow to the box. And again, I'm only doing one side of this at a time, making sure that it's straight and even. I'll glue the last side down. I decided to put this on before I put the hearts on so I can place, additional hearts on here. And then I'm just going to cut that excess off. All right, so then we're going to just do the hearts. And I'm just going to put these just around wherever. This would be cute for Christmas, Easter. This would be a cute basket for Easter. Ooh. I'm picturing chicks colored like cows or rabbits colored like cows. That would be pretty cute. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me. Thanks for crafting along. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also, follow me on Facebook if you haven't. I've been giving away some free designs from previous cards that I made. There might be something out there you would love to make a card with, so be sure to check it out. And until next time, happy crafting, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.